proceed to switch line, double check. Let's switch 12, south 12.
Excuse all the noise in the background. Just set these videos up real quick.
I have completely abandoned ChatGPT. It just keeps failing me time after time after time, and I just can't.
General Secretary Gorbachev, when you stop to think that we're all God's children, wherever we may live in the world, I couldn't help but say to him, just think how...
Copyright Act. I just want to put that out there. I would like to be protected by the Copyright Act because I don't plan on making any type of residual money, anything from these videos, only educational purposes.
How easy his task and mine might be in these meetings that we held if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species, from another planet, outside in the universe. We'd forget all the little local differences that we have between our countries, and we would find out once and for all that we really are all human beings here on this earth together. Well, I don't suppose we can wait for some alien race to come down and threaten us, but I think that between us, we can bring about that realization. In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound.
I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rekakwadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone and the elder bishops as well. Greetings to the hopeful elect, the true biblical bloodline Israelites, which are you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, as well as the Israelite foreigner Gentiles that might look like the heathen. The topic of this lesson will be the Samson option. The Samson option. If you know anything about the biblical story about Samson, which was an Israelite, all right, he made a few mistakes that led to his capture, but on his last stand, pretty much on his deathbed, he asked the Lord for one more, prayed for one more, what I'm saying, one more thing, and that was to pretty much a last stand, like destroy his enemies, during his last stand. He was chained up. So what happened, I gotta go reread the story, but he actually pulled down the walls of the same place that he was bound up in, and the building fell on himself, killing himself and his enemies. So if I'm not gonna make it, can't nobody make it type deal, right? That's what the Samson option is. All right. The small hats, and we're just gonna get through this, so we'll get there. All right. The small hats, the fake JOOs, which are not the Israelites of the Bible, which the correct way to say Israel anyway, that's not even really a word. That's just English, you trying to say Yasha Allah, Yashar Allah is the Hebrew word, Paleo Hebrew, the original tongue of the nations, the original tongue of the ancient Israelites, the pure language, as it says in Zephaniah 3 and 9. All right, the first language. Now, this is the language that the Heavenly Father still speaks, and the angels. Every other language is a bastard language. That's why it tells you in Isaiah that the Lord will speak to his people in these times in stammering lips in another tongue. We speak all different, languages under the heavens right now. Okay. But, yeah, these people are Edomites, these fake JOOs, the nation of Esau, Edom, which is the only biblical nation, because I believe there's 18 or 13 nations, original nations in the scriptures, and they're still here today, but all of those names have been changed around, so you can't identify who's who in the scriptures. Well, Esau, Edom is the only nation that will not receive mercy from the Most High. Also, the nation that would be in power when the Lord would decide to return. And we're at the beginning. We're at the end of Esau and the beginning of Jacob, the beginning of the kingdom of heaven here on the earth. This wicked rulership removed by violence and the kingdom of heaven being set up. All right. So these people are the tribe of Amalek of the nation of Esau, Edom. And then the rest of these so-called Edomites, so-called white people from America to Europe, spread around, they're of their respective tribes, but they're all from the Salakia, the nation of Esau, Edom. And now you see them being divided. All right, and the Lord spoke about that. If Satan's house, okay, shall be divided, how shall it stand? The Lord has brought the spirit of division into the world, because he said, I came not to bring peace, but rather division, the sword. So that's how you know we're at the end of this man's kingdom, because you got these regular Edomites saying that they're not the same people as the JOOs. And you got the JOOs saying that the Edomite Christians over here in America are Esau. So which one is it? Okay, nobody wants to take accountability, because in their spirit they know that it's the end, but also the higher ups know it's the end. And then some of these Edomites that actually read, they know it's the end, but they'll never admit it. They'll only push forth their scientific racism, the false science, pseudoscience. Okay? Let's play the rest of this, because this was a speech that Reagan had gave about outside threat. And now in 2026, all of a sudden there's supposed to be this declassification on the aliens, which we've been out here for years, starting with our elders, breaking down those lies and strongholds, telling you that the aliens that your government is lying about, and they know what they really are the chariots of God, the angels of heaven, the clouds of heaven, the angels that are just spying this place out, mocking this place, showing up, disappearing. Okay, you only see them because they want to be seen. Okay, they're cloaked. That's why they're known as clouds in the scriptures. But there's coming a day really soon where they're going to fill the skies, and that's how this place is going to be thrown down indefinitely.
Let's go 6.
How the elect is going to be saved. All right. Now, let's play the rest of this.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were...
This is why they're trying to set up a one world order. Because, all of this war stuff is a stage, You'll wonder how these people are enemies, but then during the CV-19, everybody was on board. You just had Trump go over there with some billionaire squad to China. I thought they were enemies. Every week they're sending out new threats, and then they just pop up, a meeting, but the MOTB, Revelation the 13th chapter, no man shall be able to buy or sell without taking his mark and his, and all of these nations are going to be on board. And within, this MOTB system, which is a cashless society, all of these governments at the same time around the world are crashing, okay? Moving into cashless, Orwellian type governments, okay? Surveillance states, right? And this is the plan of the powers that be. Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay? He covers up, all right, the true people of the Lord. All right? Deceive the world. And starting with your trillionaire families, because everybody about the DJ Trumps, the Kill Gates, all these different guys, the Fauci's, all the what's this other guy with the goddamn Tesla? Okay, you only know about them because they need front guys while they run out the back door. That's why you hear people blaming, the governor of California, it's the mayor, Gavin Newsom. Okay, that's what these people are set up for. So you have someone to blame. You can't blame the actual people that's giving it, putting the battery in these people's backs, or giving out the commands, or giving out the script, because DJ Trump is only reading off a script. All right, so when you look at the dollar bill, when you look at the coins, it says a pluribus unum, which is a Latin word for all in one. And this speech right here, that's pretty much what he's saying. If there's a foreign threat was to come out of the sky, wouldn't we all put away our differences? You see? And that's the only way these nations are going to put away their differences, because honestly, those missiles, it's the Lord that's going to shoot the missiles. It speaks about that in Habakkuk. I mean, we speak about Revelations, Ezekiel 38 chapter, how we know Russia is going to shoot missiles on Babylon the Great, all America's allies, okay, the 10 horns, they're going to shoot their missiles on Babylon. Babylon going to shoot their missiles back, you know, the opposite way, and then the state of Israel is going to be totally consumed by those nukes, okay? We're going to get to those scriptures real quick. I'm at work, so bear with me. I got to speed this up. You know, it's going to be a day of darkness. Scriptures speak about, you know, the clouds, the sky being rolled up as a scroll, which is a mushroom cloud. Right? So these nations, they're going to come together as, you know, as far as this economic race. You know, okay, all nations on board with this cashless digital society, so they can continue to, the elite of all of these nations are going to all be, you know, set on high, and the people oppressed. That's what they want to move into. All
Mark, are you about to give up too?
Oligarch. Anybody that's on, you know, that's with it, you can get in. All right, among the elite class of these other nations all around the world, but there's still division. Okay, there's still some division up there, but that's not my point for this lesson. Let me finish this. You know,
facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? I think maybe I'd answer it this way. I keep in my frustration some.
So he had 3 different speeches bringing this out, right? I'm gonna move on. What war is he talking about? He's talking about the war in heaven, and that's the spirit, because I didn't even think I was gonna bring this out. I didn't even have plans to bring this out. With you Christians, you've taken this scripture and turned it into something else. You know, but movies like Independence Day and stuff like that, man, that's where they get those images from, but they put a Hollywood twist on it. Just stick some green Martians in there, but it's actually the angels. This is Revelations 12:7, and there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. What's the dragon? It's talking about Rome. And you have to go back to Daniel 7 to deal with that. Daniel 7, Revelations, the 7th chapter, because that deadly wound that Rome had suffered going back in the ancient world, you know, approximately around 200 AD, it was at a steep fall, all right? Then it pretty much was taken over by its subjects, which were the so-called Negroes, the Israelites at the time, the same people that were its slaves, right? And that's where you get that 1,000-year period that's recorded in Revelation, the 20th chapter, where the Negroes were ruling all throughout Europe as the so-called white man was brought low into servitude and cast off into the Caucasus Mountains. That whole caveman history, you know. It says, so that war in heaven, and there was war in heaven. What does war mean? It just means to go against. Michael and his angels. Because Michaela, when you go into Daniel 12:1, it speaks about how the archangel Michael, in these times of Jacob's trouble, which we're entering into, where these Edomites are going to straight out have an onslaught persecution against our people. No constitutional nothing. It's just going to be an onslaught. All right. And you can see that narrative building up. All right. Right now, they're trying to accuse our people, which our people are wicked, but they're doing everything into their power to propagandize and you know, indoctrinate the rest of the people. All right. To be justified at what they want to do to our people. All right. So this is why Michaela, the angel, as it says in Daniel 12, is going to be set up to protect the remnant of the Israelites. Just a small remnant, because the majority of our people are going to be taken. They've been, you know, they've been converted over to, you know, wickedness. All right. So the Lord is only going to save a third. So there's going to come a day when the Lord returns, like in that movie Independence Day. It says Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. All right. So the modern day Rome, when you go into Revelation 13, is America. All right. It tells you at the top of the chapter that the deadly wound was healed And it goes back into the 10 horns and 7 heads. Just like ancient Rome had the same thing. They had an EU and a NATO of that time. And pretty much if you look at the ancient map and you look at the ancient map today of the NATO and the EU, it's the same structure. Just like the ancient Roman Empire, all of those conglomerate of nations joined together. It was the same geographical landmasses that was joined together in the ancient world. There was just no America. So the new Rome is being ruled from America. And you can look up something called the Treaty of Rome. That's for you to do, right? So the elites that established America know that this is Rome, all right? A revision of Rome, coming back as a technocracy. That's why it speaks about the lying wonders and stuff like that in Revelation 13th chapter. People are going to be mesmerized and worship the image of the beast because of this technology, these false miracles that they think the so-called white man can do. They're going to think that he's God, you see? So it says, Michael and his angels. So the angels are going to fight against what? The dragon, and the dragon fought against his angels. So the Air Force, it's just that simple. It don't have nothing to do with no dragon and the red devil with blowing fire. No. The red people, the red devil, the scriptures are talking about are the red people. That's what Edomite means. Okay? And the dragon is their power, their system. You see? It says, and prevailed not. So you're not going to win. Esau, neither was their place found anymore in heaven. And the dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. See? That old serpent. And that old serpent is a person. It wasn't a literal snake. That's an analogy for a slimy slime ball person. When you go into the characteristics of a serpent, if you call a person man, this dude's a snake. Subtile, deceptive, sneaky, right? But also another definition, when you break the word down, serpent in Genesis is dealing with a high level warlock, witch. You see? So it's dealing with a man, and it tells you that at the last verse, Revelation 13th chapter. It says that all of this stuff that is spoken of before that last verse it's a man. It's all a parable, man. Okay? It says Satan just means adversary. So the devil means one that is deceitful or a false accuser, right? So it's tying this man and his system back to that very, okay, because what you have is a man which gives birth to a nation of people, right? The Edomites, the red people. And then what? You have a whole kingdom that comes out of that, which is known as the dragon or the beast, a grown version of that serpent, turned into a whole dragon, right? That old serpent called the devil and Satan. So also he's called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. Yeah, that was his job. Revelation, the 20th chapter, coming out of the Renaissance period, right? Was the job of Esau, Edom, to deceive the earth. That's why people believe that everything started with the Greeks. All right? Deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Yeah, his messengers. That's what angel means. His Air Force. Once the Air Force is destroyed, no more empire. Because America is not even known for, their ground force, really. They're known for coming in with their Air Force, and that's how they established dominancy. Okay, so now since we established that, I got some more videos. Because remember, the topic is the Rick Simpson option. Because I want to get to that, right? I just had to get that since he said that. Let me get this other video. First, let me get this little clip. You hear me? From this little Instagram. Because this is what brought me to do this lesson. What this guy is talking about right here. Man, she look hideous now, man. All right.
Open season on all of the wealthy and powerful people. All of them. Doesn't matter what office they hold, doesn't matter what job title they have. I just believe it's open season on all of you. You should be hunted. There are a lot of us nobodies. It's not like we can't communicate with each other. Everybody's 7 connections away from somebody else. We're all well integrated and connected. We do all of the manual labor, all of the tech labor. We run all of the goods and services.
And excuse me, I'm at work, so that's why you hear me narrating so much stuff instead of going to the actual script. So I guess this will be an impromptu, but because I could get a call at any second. But the scriptures say that the plowman shall overtake the reaper. Who reaps all the benefits of this society and become billionaires, millionaires, trillionaires? Okay, this is supposedly a capitalistic society, and in order to capitalize, you have to capitalize off someone. And the main people being capitalized are the Most High's people, the Israelites. That's why they say the so-called black dollar, okay, alone, you know, people say, man, why aren't you rich? You people spend billions of dollars each year. You make all these other nations rich, okay? Because these people, they reap all of it. They reap the money. The money don't come back to us. The taxes that we spend out, it don't come back and come back into our neighborhoods. It goes to fix somebody else shit up. And our shit left to deteriorate. Okay? So we're in that time. Shall be in straits. You know? We're going to get that.
Services, we transport all of them. We're far more important than they are. There's not enough prisons to hold us all. There's not enough equipment to put us all down. There's just not. I think it's open season on all of them. Quite literally.
That's why I'm doing this lesson, the Samson option. See, guys like this, they talk a good one, but honestly, you people ain't gonna do nothing. Okay? At this point, they've already allowed you people and weaponized you people, even other countries, with weapons and guns and assault rifles. How you think the Middle Eastern people in the middle of the sand, how you think they get automatics? How you think these gangbangers in these impoverished hoods get guns and switches? Right? Because these devils, they have a plan. And when they come down with that great wrath, right? Because they know they have a short time. I missed it. It was in Revelations 12. I could have got that. They don't want to look like they're the ones just doing all the violence and the evil. So that what they do, they'll arm you so that you can fight back, so they don't look like the great Satan, right? So they got, they have other, they're building bunkers. That's going to be the next video. These billionaires are building bunkers. So how much more are the people that's above them? You don't even see them. All right?
Really, all of them. I do genuinely mean that. And if that scares you, if you're a wealthy, powerful, well-connected person and that intimidates you, it's because you're evil. Good.
And see, what do you people think you're going to do? You know, you watch so many movies like the Planet of the Apes. That was talking about Jake. That was dealing with the Israelites taking down the so-called white man. But it's not going to happen just like that, right? That's a Hollywood spin. But that's how you people think. You think that you're going to all come together, take down these people, and then just go into this perfect world where you set up more elections, people from among your own kind, somebody who is, one of the neighbors, and then y'all going to start all over again, have barbecues and cookouts until the world is perfect and floating to paradise, grilling hot dogs. No. That's how y'all see it, though. Okay, all you people gonna get caught up in this, and only the elect is gonna be saved. He that endureth to the end shall be saved. So this is what that salvation these Christians are talking about. Okay, from they don't even know what they're gonna be saved from, but they just have. You're not saved yet. Okay, the Lord said He's gonna make it known who are His. Okay, when all hell breaks loose, you're gonna know who are His. Okay, it says
People don't fear bad things happening to them. Good people don't fear other people doing things to them. Good people fear unjust punishment. People like Lindsey Graham are traitors.
That's enough. I'm not even finna. Okay, I'm freestyling this, so bear with me. All right, you people don't have a clue. All right, You've been given this money to worship. It's all a scam. It's all a psyop. It's all about your soul. It's all about power and your soul. It has nothing to do with money. That's how these Edomites, they want your soul. They want your worship. All right. So technically, they're the only ones that are blessed. I remember Elder Apostle Tahar was going in that. To be blessed means that, you're being bowed down to. That's the true definition of it. Okay. So that's what they want. They want to be blessed forever. But it was only meant for a season, and that season is up. Okay, so you people, it's about money. They make billions of dollars. They ain't gonna destroy their own money. Why would they do that? You still got niggas talking like that. Just because you worship and idolize money. That was a scam so that no one can hold gold and silver and real tangible commodities and hoard to themselves. The only thing you can hoard is a piece of paper that they print and they manipulate its value. Okay? Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. All right? And we're not talking about Will Smith, rich people like that. We're talking about these billionaire, trillionaire clubs among the elite class, all right, to where they only socialize among each other. All right? You don't even see them. Okay? They understand that their riches are corrupted. That's why I said it's not about money for them. It's about the souls of men. A real commodity is something that has value within itself. That's real money. Like you, your body, you get up, your energy harvested, you go to work, all right? They take that energy, whatever you're doing for the system, they take it and capitalize off of it, and they live the best fruits of life while you go home and you're drained. So your soul is what they want. It speaks about that in Revelations 18. This is why the Lord is addressing them through the prophet James. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. All of these structures, especially here in America, with like a D-grade infrastructure, right? Everything's moth-eaten and corrupted. It's old. They won't fix it. There's no point. You people say, well, they have enough money to fix everything and put some money in our pocket. Well, guess what? Their true riches are corrupted. Why would they fix this shit up and spend, the last, of their money, being that America's in trillions of dollars of debt? Who you think they're in trillions of dollars of debt to? Okay? These bankers, right? And so these bankers gain more and more control the more that these nations become under debt, because America's not the only nation. You see? Because now, instead of paying them back, you got to take this MOTB. You got to push this MOTB system. And that's done by the small hats, the chief tribe of Esau, Edom, the Amalekites of the Bible. These are the people that's ruling the world. You see? So their riches are corrupted. You people, you're waking up. The prophets are here. We've been out here for years. All right? That's why you had your boy Reagan get up there and speak about that. They were your government, the powers that be, they know everything that goes on these streets. They saw that the Lord had put the spirit of his people starting to wake up his people again to who they are, because they've always known who we are, who they've had in their possession, the Israelites of the Bible. Hence, they took our nationality to try to hide that and say it was them, hoping that prophecy would never manifest, but it did. Because only a carnal-minded person could actually know these things of what I just said and still say, well, you know what, it might not happen. And that's Esau Edom. He's a carnal man. He's not a spiritual people. Okay? As the scriptures say. Right? Your gold and your silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against them, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, see, all the employees, which is of you kept back by fraud. Yeah, people are complaining and losing jobs, pay wages are low, and more. Okay, kept back by fraud crieth. So the people are crying right now. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of armies, of Sabaoth. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth, and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. And see, this is really speaking about the Israelites, because the rest of you nations, the Most High don't care. You're going to be destroyed in vain. But the Israelites who have repented, we come back to the Lord, calling on him in his true name, and we're leaning on him now. We're no longer leaning on our enemies for the one of all things, because we're going to have to walk away from everything real soon, whether or not we know where we're going to live or eat or whatever. But those things are for sure for the servants of the Most High. Okay? I just want to run through these precepts real quick. So we know that the small hat is going to draw us out into this war. Right? We know that the tiny hats, let me get something, is going to draw us out into this war. All right. We know that Russia and those other countries, like I said, Iran and Persia and these other countries that's along with Russia, will be used to shoot the missiles, but it will be the Heavenly Father, Yahweh Shai, who shoots the missiles, who activates those missiles, the buttons, right? All right, so the Lord is in total control all the way down to the missiles. Let's get, oh my God, the least of the flock. 1 second, shit. Least of the flock. Okay, that's Jeremiah 50. It was one chapter over. We almost done with this, on through the Spirit. And it says, because I got another video, I probably won't get to it. It's just a video showing you all of these billionaires and these people that's preparing to, you know, these bunkers and, what do you call it? Prepping and all that different stuff, and spending all of these millions of dollars on these underground bunkers. You even have some spending billions of dollars on underground bunkers. And so when, you know, they pull the plug on this place, a lot of these people are going to be giving commands from their bunkers. Some of those things are probably being done now. You know, some of these things we see on TV could just be a green screen. All right. But they haven't started pushing and make it mandatory to mark of the beast yet, so they don't really need to be underground yet. But once these people figure out that this is it, because see, people are right on a, you know, on a balance beam waiting to see if it'll level out. Okay, would his, you know, would his gas thing go away? You know what I mean? Are things gonna get better? Will we have it? You know, once these people figure out that, because you know they say by July 4th we'll be completely out of oil that used under the engine and oil that goes into the gas. You see? So people are waiting to see, but once certain things are concrete, just like, you know, since the CV-19, things have dramatically changed. But then, you know, the witchcraft that was being worked, you know, the delusions by the powers that be were to make it seem as if things are back to normal now. Meanwhile, all of your executive orders are being set up in the background. All of the plans are being, you know, set in order for this great catastrophe. All right. You know, when they pull this plug, man, so that they can bring in a new system. This is when, you know, people gonna lose it, man. All right. But let's get this. Damn. 1 second. This whole chapter is good. But this is 45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of the Lord Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, which is America, and his purpose is that he hath purposed against the land of Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. So the Lord has purposed for Babylon the Great to be drawn out to its destruction by the least of the flock. What is this talking about? When you think about a flock, let's say you have a group of sheep. Well, among that flock is all sheep. The flock of sheep, they're all together. If two sheep go off and make the rest of them veer off in one direction, they get eaten by a wolf. That's what happens. That's why you need a shepherd, right? Or those guard dogs that guard the sheep. It says, surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. So this least of the flock is going to make Babylon desolate with them. So they both gonna be destroyed. You see? Now what's the least of the flock? What is the least when you deal with Esau, Edom, the so-called white man? They're running the world out of where? Okay, Europe, which is known as, you know, the beast in the scriptures. Then what? You got the divided, your house divided. You got the Russians, okay? You got the other Turk, you know, what's some other, China, right? You got those nations over there, but mainly the Edomite rulership is Russia, and even going back to the USSR, Russia and America, the two power heads. China, they're a watchpot. They're literally subjects to the so-called white man. That's why their MOTB system over there is more advanced. All of that scripted shit you see in the media, don't get it twisted. All right, we go off the scriptures. Moab is a washpot. It's Esau, then it's Moab, right? The Chinese. These are their true nationalities according to the Bible, all right? So let me just get something. All right, so we can wrap this up. All right, the Samson option, and I'm going to read it. I should have already got that, but I guess we just build into that. Again, the Samson option. Man, where was I going? Let me just get that now, because I forget where I was headed. Okay, the Samson option. Let's look at it. The Samson option is Israel's alleged military strategy of mass nuclear retaliation as a last resort. You see, it indicates that if the nation faces an existential threat and its conventional military defenses are defeated, it would use its nuclear arsenal to ensure that its enemies fall with it, preventing total annihilation at the hands of its adversaries. See? And the small hats, the least of the flock, they're being drawn out by being exposed by the whole world. Okay, via the mouth of the Lord, which are his prophets. Ultimately, this is how these people have been exposed before the whole world. So the way they've been able to rule for so long is through secrecy. This is why nobody had a problem with the state of living. See, the problem now is that we're waking up to the state of our living. Now we're slaves and to who these people are. And so now they're increasing the workload and they're turning up the fire because they're exposed. Their riches are corrupted. They're weeping, they're howling. All right. This is why they're getting ready to be violent. This is why there's nothing good coming out of these people. All right. The name is derived from the biblical figure Samson. Yeah, so even when the Lord returns, why you think they lying to you people about the aliens? Why don't they just tell you the truth and go sip the, they're trillionaires. Like, go live it up and just tell the people the truth. It's because until the end, they want to keep you, their soul, in subjection. Can you imagine if they came over the news and said, yeah, these are the angels of the Lord? Then you have to say, okay, then what's the Lord's name? Which is the correct name then? And who are the people? Let's just say all that truth came out. Yeah, these are the elect. These are the prophets. Yeah, what they're saying is true. Okay, but those guys over there, we set them up. The C to the I to the A, we set up that fake Israelite group over there. But those guys over there, those are the real prophets. As crazy as they look, as crazy as they sound, yeah, the Negro Latinos and Native Americans are the angels look like so-called black people. Guess what? You people will have to repent. And they would have to cease. They damn near have to bow down. Because if you even if the people rose up and employed judgment, then they would be justified. Okay? The name is derived from the biblical figure Samson, who was captured and blinded by the Philistines. In a final act of desperation and defiance, Samson pushed the pillars of the temple, bringing the structure down and killing both himself and thousands of captors. See? The deterrent. Experts estimate that Israel possesses a sizable, it's speaking about Israel, the least of the flock, not the real Israelites. Okay, possess a sizable, highly sophisticated nuclear arsenal deployed across land, air, and sea. The Samson option serves as the ultimate deterrent, signaling that any attempt to destroy the country would come at an unbearable cost. So they know that place is going to be destroyed. This is why they need America to back them, because they can't. America is owned by, Israel. You see? And you still have people that think that they're the chosen people. No. The chosen people, according to biblical prophecy, would be in slavery and captivity underneath the wicked, all right, posing to be the people, and they would need to be saved and delivered. That's the truth about the scriptures when you actually study and read the scriptures. All right. So let's get this last scripture, because I wanted to get that video showing them bunkers, but we don't have enough time. They're gonna call me out of nowhere. So yeah, you devils, your time is up, man, and you know it. And this is why these people are gonna lose their mind, come down with great wrath. It said, howl and weep. And what is their blessing? What is the so-called white man's blessing? These Edomites, the sword. What is the modern day sword? Nukes, guns, laser technology, whatever is destructive, their tongue, their speech, their policies. Nigga, what the fuck you keep looking at? You stupid ass nigga. That's why you gonna get caught up in this fire. Damn. Everything's a fucking game to you stupid motherfuckers, man. That's why, you know what I'm saying? We just gonna need patience, man. Because yes, you gonna be destroyed within this fire, man. You're not gonna have a bunker to run to. All right? Nobody's your friend out here. There is no love out here in society. So you people running around here playing and thinking shit is sweet and just a bunch of fucking idiots, man. At this point, the plague has already hit you, man. The mindset that you're in, the Lord has already hit you with a plague. You're batshit crazy, man. Smitten you with madness. That's what the scriptures say, man. Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, meaning difficulty. The fullness. So when this man starts, you know, he does what he gonna do, millions, hundreds of millions to billions of people die, he gonna think, you know, all right, look, we can move to the next step. All right, let's bring out the mark of the beast, and let's tell these people that things can go back to normal. Things can get better if you take this chip. We could end terrorism. We can end disease. We could end paralyzation. We could end this and that. You know, they're gonna present that chip as if it's the cure to everything. We can open society back up. We can rebuild, because now if we chip everybody, we'll know who's who. We can properly identify people. Okay, the threat can't go underground, you know, because we'll have them chipped. If anybody doesn't want to get chipped, then we know that they're a terrorist. Okay, so that gives us the right to publicly execute them. It's going to be real draconian, as it says in this chapter, Revelation 13, right? So it says, but when that time, so this is that time, in the fullness of his sufficiency should be in straight. So when it gets, you know, the fullness of sufficiency, right? Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. And the wicked is speaking about the employee, right? So a lot of people, like I said earlier, when they figure out it's actually over, that's when people are going to fight back. Because they threw that Epstein stuff out there to test how, you know, what is the breaking point of these people. See, these people are not going to rebel until they take their food and it starts to hit everybody home. You know what I'm saying? Right there on the couch. Take their food and you take away the bread and circus. All right, so Esau only needs you people for a few more seconds, because he would have been did these type of things, right? But he's just putting everything a few more, you know, what you say, when you fixing up a few more patches, right? So when he is about to fill his belly, right, all right, he think that he's got his whole new world order. All right, he moves that chip out. People are taking it. Some people are not, so he's gathering them up, throwing them into concentration camps, killing them, whatever he's going to be doing, right? We know that he's going to be doing that, right? So he's going to think, oh, okay, all right, it's working, it's going. But you're going to have so many people that's not going to be with it. You're going to have so many people that are going to be exposing even more and more that this is the mark of the beast, okay? You're going to even have people that's going to be trying to convert to the truth, because they're going to, everything that we've been saying is going to have come to pass, and they're going to be able to find us. That's a fulfillment of Amos, the 9th chapter, right? So that's what it's talking about, feeding his belly. All right. God shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and it shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So you think about that quote, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Where Esau, you living by the sword, but you're not even going to be able to dictate when the sword comes down. Because it say right here that the Lord is going to rain it down. All right. When you think that you fill in your belly, so you're not going to be able to even fulfill this new world order. That's how close we are. Everybody around the earth is speaking about the new world order. All of these countries, except you Americans, understand where this is going. Okay. This is not just a time like the Great Depression that we're going to get over. A lot of that shit was staged. Okay. To pre-initiate you to these times. Predictive programming. I did a lesson on that a few weeks ago. All right. And then we could go to Habakkuk, but that rain, okay, Yahweh Shai is going to have the missiles. He's going to shoot the missiles off. And then following the missiles, he's going to be beaming up the elect. at the same time. Okay? And we're going to be entering into those chambers. Noah's Ark 2.0, which you can find in Isaiah 26 chapter. Okay? So, yeah, that's about it. We're just going to end it right there. Okay? They show you that in Call of Duty. You know, one of the options, I forget which one it is, the nuke. So there's certain video games where, you know, there's nuke maps. If shit get too crazy or something, you know, you just shoot the nukes off. And, you know, I didn't go into the nuke scriptures, but I just wanted to bring that out. And I missed Revelation the 13th chapter, because what I wanted to do is show you from the beginning of the Greek Empire to the dragon, which we're in now, Rome, okay, a revised version of Rome. You know, the Greeks were the beginning of the Edomite coming into power. Before that, they were on the earth, but they were never in power. They were base men, very vile, low men who were chased forth from among men and cried after as thieves, as it says in the book of Job, because the people in the earth always knew this man was no good. And if you let him around your flocks, he'll sleep with your animals. If you let him around, he'll steal your stuff. That's what he was known for. That's what it says in the book of Job against this devil. So now that they're in power, you see these small hats, you see the same sentiment. And now they're being chased out of the earth via the Spirit of the Lord. All right. And so with that, man, we're going to wrap it up. Hey, till next time. The Simpson option. Will it be an option?